hello everybody. Oh, hi guys. Hi guys. Okay, we're here to wish you a Merry Christmas or a happy holiday or just a happy break. Right? We're gonna miss you, and we just wanted to, maybe if you have time, like 10 minutes, we wanted to read you a book. Yes, this will be our present, when you miss Miss Foster's voice, telling you what to do for science class, you can just put on this to rock you to sleep, because I know a few of you fall asleep or play Among Us or talk on social media while I'm teaching. But that's okay. I love you anyway. Okay, just go ahead and start. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And of course, this is by Dr. Seuss. He's awesome. He was awesome. Gus, come here. Don't go too far. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch. The Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. I'm going to get a little bit closer here. Oh, there you go. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos. Staring down from his cave with a sour grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging the stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled, in with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'll rush for their toys, and then, the noise! The noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise. Noise. Then, the Grinch obviously didn't have kids. Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast, and they feast. They would feast on Who's pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. I think the Grinch was vegan. And then they'll do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'll stand hand in hand, and the Whos will start singing. They sing and they sing, and the more the Grinch thought of this Who's Christmas singing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it. Now I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Oh boy. Everybody knows that look. Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got an awfully wonderful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And then he chuckled and chuckled. What a great Grinchy trick! Which this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was no to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said. If I can find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. That's a result for Grinch right there. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. You hear that, Gus? You want to do that? Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. We're sleeping. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. Don't you love it when that happens? It's so nice and quiet when it's snowing. And all the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1," the old Grinch Klaus hit hiss, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. He's climbing. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flew. "Where the little Who's stockings all hung in a row, these stockings," he grinned, "are the first thing to go." I think he was maybe hangry, Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room as he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. He took the plums. What's wrong with him? And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who's pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Bad Grinch. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff up the tree." And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But the old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." Well, if Cindy Lou had taken my science course, she'll know that this is an easy fix. We cover that in the electricity unit. All right. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head and he got her drink and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Ready to go. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. What kind of person does that? Seriously, geez. Get it together, Grinch. Then he did the same thing to the other Who houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. Look at that. Yep, he did good. It was dawn and all the Who's still in bed. All the Who's still snooze. Then he packed up his sled, parked it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrapping, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip top to dump it. Pooh, pooh, to the whoos, he was grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouth will hang open. A minute or two, then the whoos down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. Don't think so fast, Mr. Grinch. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch. That I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound, rising over the snow. It started low, but then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. What? Did I read that right? Okay. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. He was puzzled. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling. How could it be so? It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. He looked so sad. And what happened then, you might ask? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Isn't that so great? So whether you are celebrating Christmas or just a nice break, I just want to tell you that you're awesome and that I hope I see you next year. Take care. Bye-bye.